So, get this. Meghan Markle, yes, that Meghan Markle, had her eyes set on a bag. But not just any bag, darling. We're talking about Hermès, the crown jewel of fashion, the house of whispers, and the gatekeeper of luxury. Meghan didn't want just a Birkin. Oh no, she wanted the Birkin. A one-of-one, custom-made, hand-kissed by Parisian perfection itself. Her idea? Ethically sourced white leather, glimmering gold-plated hardware, and a delicate engraving of one of her own quotes. Something empowering, something Meghan. You know, that woman on a mission vibe she's always going for. It wasn't just a fashion statement, it was supposed to be a symbol that she was back, reclaiming her space in elite society. But this time, on her own terms. The request came straight from her team, polite, polished, and dripping in that Hollywood meets royal confidence. They addressed it directly to Hermès headquarters in Paris. The timing? Oh, genius. Just a few months before her big Montecito charity gala, her grand re-entry into the world of glitz and grace. In her mind, it was all perfect. The Duchess, the cause, the custom bag, the cameras. What could possibly go wrong? Well, everything. Because when you knock on Hermès' door, you're not just asking for a bag, you're asking to step inside a world that doesn't open for anyone, not even a duchess. And this time, that door stayed shut. A few days later, Hermès sent their reply. Elegant, polished, and oh so fatal. Madame Hermès does not accept external creative direction on heritage pieces. Our legacy is defined by the maison, not by collaboration. Translation: we don't take design tips from you, sweetheart. It was polite, it was poised, and it was a complete shutdown. But Meghan's team didn't back off. Oh no, her senior stylist shot back, insisting that this vision could redefine Hermès for a modern, socially conscious generation. A few hours later, her personal assistant followed up too, talking about ethical luxury and purpose-driven fashion. They thought they were negotiating. Hermès thought it was adorable. And then, Hermès made their move. They didn't reply, not directly. Instead, whispers started circulating. Word is, someone in Paris quietly forwarded Meghan's request and Hermès' response to a very select group of insiders. Not the tabloids, not social media. Oh no, they went straight to the fashion elite, the editors, the buyers, the ones who run the silent gossip channels behind every runway. And just like that, Meghan's polite little email became the story of the season. Hermès wasn't just saying no, they were making an example out of her. Within days, Paris was buzzing, Milan was snickering, stylists were texting each other like it was gospel. Hermès rejected her, but they never said her name. That's the brilliance of Hermès' cruelty. It's always elegant. You have to understand. This was unheard of. Hermès never leaks, never comments, never collaborates. Yet somehow this story found its way into every corner of high fashion. Suddenly, Meghan Markle, the woman who built her empire on controlling her own narrative, was the cautionary tale. The Duchess who overreached. The woman who tried to redesign a religion. And the humiliation? Oh, it was exquisite. Not tabloid screaming scandal. No, this was quiet, refined, expensive humiliation. A six-figure embarrassment wrapped in white leather and gold trim. And Meghan? She had no idea the real storm was still coming. After the whispers about Hermès shutting her down, Meghan was fuming. You know that kind of quiet fury where you smile for the cameras but your eyes could melt metal? That was her. She wasn't about to let Paris or anyone think she'd been humiliated. Oh no, she was going to remind them exactly who she was. And what better stage than Paris Fashion Week? The world's flashiest comeback arena. Meghan wanted her "I'm back" moment, so she made sure her appearance screamed royalty meets runway. Balenciaga front row, cameras everywhere. A statement entrance planned to perfection, except Paris wasn't having it. When she walked in, the energy shifted. It wasn't excitement, it was frost. One insider whispered, "The room went cold." You could feel it, they said. The air froze. No smiles, no hugs, no polite double kisses, just stiff glances and polite distance. Even the photographers, usually vultures for a Meghan shot, looked bored. And then the real gossip started. Backstage, stylists and makeup artists started whispering something cruel. Not about her outfit, not about her speech, about her smell. Yes, her smell. Can you imagine? Rumor was her glam team was in panic mode, dousing her in perfume and misting sprays between every photo. One crew member supposedly muttered, "You can fix foundation, but you can't fix that smell." Brutal, right? But in Paris, cruelty wears couture. By the end of the show, the whispers had escaped the backstage and spilled into the lobby. People weren't talking about Balenciaga's designs anymore. They were talking about her. And if there's one thing Paris never forgives, it's bad hygiene, scandal, fine, attitude, expected, but smelling less than perfect? That's a sin wrapped in silk. After the show, things got even worse. Designers started murmuring that Meghan's entire look, the one she thought marked her triumphant return, wasn't even hers. Balenciaga hadn't invited her with fanfare. Apparently, it was a last-minute favor from someone's assistant's assistant. The dress? Borrowed. The heels? Loaned. And the cruelest detail, she had to return everything, tags still attached. Now, in fashion, you know what that means. Free clothes mean respect. Borrowed ones mean pity. And the message behind those untouched tags was crystal clear: you don't belong here anymore. Meghan left that show smiling for the cameras, but the insiders knew. They saw it in the way no one followed her to the after-party, the way people moved aside as she walked past. Paris had spoken without saying a word. And just when it seemed like things couldn't possibly get worse, Meghan made a move that sent literal shivers down the city's spine. After the show, she reportedly asked her driver to take her through the Pont de l'Alma tunnel. Yes, that tunnel. The same one where Princess Diana's life ended. Her team swore it was a coincidence, but insiders weren't buying it. Word spread that Meghan even filmed herself driving through, saying she wanted to honor Diana's memory. But in Paris, that didn't read as tribute, it read as performance. The kind of symbolism that feels rehearsed, not heartfelt. See, people in Paris said Meghan knew exactly what she was doing. She had studied Diana's life for years, watched her interviews, memorized every detail of her tragedy. So this drive? It wasn't innocent, it was intentional. And that's when the whispers turned into ice. Because Paris, oh Paris, doesn't tolerate insincerity, especially when it comes to Diana. You can't imitate pain and call it homage. The irony? Meghan had always blamed the British press for destroying Diana's life. But when she and Harry wanted to tell their side of the story, who did they run to? CBS, the same network that decades ago aired and profited from the photos of Diana's crash. Let that sink in. The same company that turned Diana's final moments into ratings gold was now hosting Meghan's teary-eyed interviews about being misunderstood. Paris saw right through it. To them, it wasn't redemption. It was replication. And that, darling, is when everything cracked. From that moment on, Paris turned its back. The same city that once gasped at her glamour now greeted her with polite smiles and colder eyes. Behind closed doors, stylists whispered the new golden rule: don't pull a Meghan. It became a warning, a quiet line between ambition and arrogance, between fame and overexposure. But here's the twist. Even as they mocked her, they couldn't look away. Every fashion house, every glossy editor, every rival Duchess still kept one eye on her. Because Meghan Markle might stumble, but she never disappears. She rebuilds, always. Rumor has it, she's planning something in Montecito, not about legacy or luxury this time, but control. A new brand, a new vision, maybe even revenge, dressed in silk and self-belief. Paris went back to its glittering nights, pretending to forget. But it hasn't. It's waiting, because scandals like Meghan's don't die. They evolve. And when she finally steps out again, whether in California or Paris, every flashbulb will turn toward her. Every whisper will rise. And the world once again will ask the same question: what if this time she wins?